Hello and welcome to a Puck's Portal presentation on 4 Angels in the Rider Waite or Smith Waite pack. If we leaf through these loose-leafed pages of the Book of Thoth, we can find several angelic beings. In traditional decks there can be quite a few beings of an angelic nature. Here in the Rider Waite deck I think that there are 4 principal angels to be found. The heavenly beings pictured in the tarot can be elemental forces. They can be personifications of planetary bodies or god forms, or angels. It may be apt to point out here that the term angel is most likely derived from Greek, the word agolos, meaning messenger. Both Arthur Edward Waite and Pamela Colman Smith were involved with the Golden Dawn, who strove to identify and to contact these messengers that we call angels, and to receive messages through several methods. If we look through the major arcana of the Rider Waite or Smith Waite cards, we can identify 3 angelic representations as the main figures of their cards very quickly and very easily. Just to be clear, we are not looking at the angels that we find on the Wheel of Fortune or those that are on the World card. These smaller in size angels are not the main focus of these cards in question. We're looking for angelic beings that are the main focus or the main image on the card which they represent. Once we've found the first 3, number 6 the Lovers, number 14 Temperance and number 20 Judgment, we might think to look for a further one if we were looking for elemental angels. These images clearly show what many would identify as an angel. I'm not suggesting that they should, but any of these could be used as a profile picture on social media to quickly identify the user as a servant of divine energies. They're that simple, they're that quick, they're that easy to spot. In a witness style statement or report, you could imagine someone trying to describe one of these angels. Yes, officer, he's the one that did it. The one emanating out of a cloud, with amazing wings, fiery hair, and an earthly beauty, an illuminated complexion, and altogether exuding an unmistakable otherworldly radiance. The 4th angel is a little bit more leathery around the wings, and a slight talon toed. He is, in this deck, titled the Devil. Just as death doesn't appear in the tarot for immortality, so the devil is not evil, but he is material and earthly natured. Both Smith and Waite, the illustrator and designer of this deck, had links to the Hermetic order of the Golden Dawn. This group asked members to design and produce their own personal cards. The group also taught a pentagram rite that called upon 4 angels or archangels to stand at the 4 quarters when banishing or invoking energy. Here in the Smith Waite or the Rider Waite tarot deck are the 4 angels and their attributions. We start off with Raphael, going to Michael, Gabrielle, Uriel or Auriel. In Hebrew, their names have a distinct meaning that specifies their role. Raphael is God's healing, Michael is like unto God, Gabrielle is God's might, and Uriel or Auriel is God's light. They have the directions east, south, west and north. They have 4 parts or stations of the day: dawn, midday, sunset or the evening time, and midnight. The 4 solar cycles to each and every day, and these bring in 4 temperatures: warm, hot, cooling and cold. They are also the 4 elements: air, fire, water and earth. They are the 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn and winter. In basic elemental attributions they're often coloured yellow, red, blue and green. These are angels that have influence over certain zodiac signs. So here we would find Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. Here Aries, Leo and Sagittarius. Here Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. Here, Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. In the Tarot Minor Arcana, Raphael would rule over swords, Michael would rule over wands, Gabrielle would rule over cups, and pentacles would be ruled over by Uriel or Auriel. 4 basic attributes of the human self could be the mental aspect here, the active dynamic aspect, the emotional aspect here, and over here the material aspect. So, mental, active, emotional and material. In that aspect, you have an idea that here is where we would commit plans, here is where our desires would emanate from, here is where we would make and keep bonds, and here is where we would make productions. 4 is an elegant amount of angels, and if those 4 angels are elementally attributed, then they can fit neatly into the teachings of the Golden Dawn, into being 4 directional angels, which will fit with many modern mystery schools and much of modern magic. There is even a connection to a Kate Bush song, and I'll put a link to that song in the description below this video. The attribution of the cards can be contested. If we look at the elements, it's easy to see that the devil, the hardest angel to find in the Major Arcana, is the easiest angel to attribute as the angel of earth. Nice and simple. The other 3 angels all share many angelic attributes. They have a glowing or fiery head, they have red wings. This straight away puts them towards the fire element, but these are just standard, I believe, angelic attributes. Water can be seen in the Judgment card and in the Temperance card, making these angels likely candidates to be the water angel. Air angel seems a little bit easy to spot that the Lovers card and the Judgment, both of those angels have no body. They're emanating out of clouds. They are angelic beings in the sky. Yet some people think that the Temperance angel is floating or just hovering. So there's possibly 3 for air. For fire, again, because of the fiery attributes of the wings and the hair, some people want to say that any of these can be fiery. Let's start looking at them and trying to attribute them. Astrological signs that are linked to the Major Arcana cards, the meaning of the Major Arcana, don't help us too much. If we look at the Lovers card being Gemini in the Major Arcana, we get the idea that this could be an air angel. If we go to Temperance, it could be a fire angel, with this being Sagittarius. These 2 zodiac signs are rather strongly attributed to those cards and work well with them. Then we have Judgment, which is another fire element, because the fire of Judgment is its traditional attribute. Nowadays people attribute it to Pluto, the planetoid, or to other planetary aspects. So we get 2 angels going for fire. Now if we look at symbols within the card a little bit more closely, symbols that are not repeated, that are not standard angelic attributions, we straight away see a solar disc on the brow of only 1 angel, of Temperance. If we attribute that angel, Temperance, to the midday sun, it becomes Michael or Michael. We can now see that the Lover's angel is an air angel with the pure Adam and Eve, and we can juxtapose the Adam and Eve to the Adam and Eve of the fallen, or the materially bonded that we find within the Devil card. Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve chained to the material block, which I believe is actually the Philosopher's Stone. Now all we have to do is find an angel for Last Judgment. The angel of the Last Judgment card has a trumpet. It's clearly enunciating something. The angel of enunciation is Gabrielle. And this is how I believe these 4 angels, these 4 depictions, these 4 images, these 4 archetypes are shown and can be used. Here is one way to attribute these cards to their elements. The Earth Angel, Auriel or Uriel, titled here the Devil, is full of earthy tones, and the image shows a descending torchlight held in the left hand, indicating a link to Uriel or Auriel. The right hand does ascend with a divided hand gesture of the fingers and an outstretched thumb. There is a symbol of Saturn displayed on that hand too. Even on the raised hand, the planetary sigil inscribed in the Devil's palm is Saturn, the Dark Destroyer. The subtle light of the Earth Angel is that of midwinter solstice. The the shortest day and the longest night. The light of the earth angel is limited and highly prized to keep the cycle of the year turning. This is the symbol found here on Ariel or Uriel, who is known as God's light. The air angel is the card of the lovers, Raphael. The yellow sky and the bonded union of the lovers reveals the power of Raphael, who is God's healing. This is the time of spring in the seasonal cycle, and here the balanced spring equinox is marked and surpassed as the days grow longer and the light gets stronger, and the whole earth around us warms up with fresh vitality of new growth and a resurgence in nature. The fire angel Michael is shown on the card of temperance. The solar disc identifies this angelic being as Michael, who is like unto God, and is showing his strong connection by revealing the path to Keter immediately behind him. On the symbol of the Hebrew tree of life, Keter is the highest sphere or emanation, where a primary and principal concept of godliness is to be found. Michael, as the angel of midsummer, is full of summer's fecundity, and the rich fertility is given through water and fire. The elements in conjunction produce a great summer. Cancer, the zodiac sign, where the longest day of the summer solstice features, is a water sign. Fittingly, the last card that we're choosing to display here is Judgment or Last Judgment. It is the water angel Gabrielle. The trumpet, so prominently and potently used by this angel, can signify Gabrielle. As God's might, Gabrielle rains forth a destructive force of fire that is tempered with the fertile force of water. The water in the image bears the open caskets of resurrected people. The figures of a man, a woman and a child in the foreground represent a productive family. They form a symbol of the letters L, V, X. These letters are linked by such groups as the Golden Dawn to a Lux formula of invoking light that thereby rejuvenates and symbolically resurrects the spirit of the magic worker. In the background, three less distinct figures all strike a similar pose to show three versions of the Hebrew letter Shin. This letter can be seen in three versions to symbolize life, death, and afterlife. In the interplay of divine and worldly creative forces at work, Shin interlocks in a meaningful system to show us these three stages, symbolized in the card of the Last Judgment. The four angels, once identified, can be used for many purposes. Most magic workers use elemental forces and directional energies and symbols of the passage of light through each day and through each season cycle of the year. For now, this has been one way to find and to assign four angels that we find in the images of the major arcana of the tarot. Thank you.